And good afternoon and welcome. That's really loud. Why is that really loud? That shouldn't be loud. There we go. I don't know what's on. Anyway. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, I know what's on. Is that not that's on either? Sorry, 1 second while I try to figure this out. Hold on 1 second. What's doing it? Oh, it might be that. Hold on. It is that. What do you know? Try that. No, that's not working either. Where is that coming from? Sorry, we are broken. Da, 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 da. Where is that coming from? No idea. Hold on 1 second. I know, right? Trying to figure it all out. There was a weird echo, and I don't know what's on that should not be on. But anyway, welcome everyone while I figure this out. William Klein, what's up? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Can you tell I just got back? It's been crazy. So the trip was great. I really need to figure out where that's coming from though. If it's that. Might be that. But that doesn't make any sense. There we go. You're with me while I flop through this. Let me try that. Hold on. How's that? No, it's still there. I have no idea where that echo's coming from. Anyway, we'll see what we can do. Maybe I won't talk as much. I don't know. Which wouldn't be bad, right? So welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, the trip was great. Had a good time. Let me know if that is completely obnoxious with the echo, if you guys can hear it. I don't know if I'm the only one who can hear it. There we go. Maston, what's up? And there's no echo, but now you can hear it. So I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, I know exactly where it's coming from now. Hold on. That's weird because I never did that before. Okay, I'm about to get rid of it. There we go. How about now? Ta-da! It's gone. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah, that's weird. The monitor that I used to monitor all the cameras was also, that's why I couldn't figure it out because I never used it before. Anyway, welcome. Holy crap. What a messed up start. But anyway, it's technology. Today we're going to work on that little ornament again, just because I literally rolled in from Ohio last night. Yes, last night, and I unpacked this morning and kind of get everything back up and running. But I did a lot of catching up to do this morning, so I didn't really have a time to set anything up specifically. So we'll work on this ornament since that's where we left off with, and it'll be pretty fun. That's all I got today. After I'm done with this, I'm going to go back and finish up some bookkeeping and things like that. End of the year fun stuff, and that's what I got. So welcome. We'll do some painting, and I don't really have any show and tell. Other than the code I posted or pinned the comment with the code on it. That's good till the end of the year, so take advantage of that. There's all kinds of good stuff on the site. You can get you get 30% off anything, including the original paintings. So there's a couple of razor blade paintings on there. You can get a steel. So anyway, so that's it. All right. Maston, what's up? Taking a break from Facebook. Awesome. Yeah. So Franz, what it was my. You guys can't, well, maybe you can see it. Let me, this one. No, you can't. It's over here. There's a big fat monitor over here that I can watch everything from. And for some reason, for the first time ever, that monitor's volume was up. It's never been on since I've used the monitor. So very strange, which is why I couldn't nail it down. But there you go. The other thing I'm trying is this, I got this weird jerry-rigged mount for the camera, which I'm trying to solve some problems with that as well. And they're not super big problems, but what I was finding with, if you watch the Open Studio videos, the camera mount was mounted on the Visionaire rack, which is really nice. That works out great. I'll switch over to show you real quick again. Let me drop that for a second. So this Visionaire rack, which you can't really see above, but it's made up of these channels, and this is the bottom of the base right here, and it goes all the way up and around and then comes back down. So I was mounting the big camera to that, but every time I wiggled the bench like this, the camera would wiggle too. So I wanted to take the big camera off that rack. So I just this morning started messing around with some new fittings, and I got to figure it all out. But in the end, it'll be nice because this second camera, this one here, will be completely separate from everything, so it won't rock and kind of move around on us. So let me set this up for now and see if I can get this to stay somewhere where we can see what we're doing. There we go. That's going to work. There we go, Franz. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, if you guys see anything like, you know, that way, please feel free to throw out your suggestions, because I will often miss dumb things. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep messing with this till we get a good angle here. I'm going to go maybe over here, and then I'll move you guys here so it's a little bit more head on. I think that's better. So there we go. Bill, what's up? Bill! I know, I did that at the store today before I got back. I was checking out, and I told a woman good morning, and she looks at me funny. She goes, I think it's the afternoon. But it wasn't, so I was right. But anyway, good afternoon. Bill and your lovely wife won last week, so I sent her a message on Facebook, or this week. So she may pick a 543, and you may also pass on to her, as I did in the note. She had asked for a vintage syringe way back. That painting is still in there, and if she's looking for that, might be a good one. So because I'm halfway at work. The boss gave me a half day today. I am cheersing with all my UK friends. So this is Opa, which is a wit beer from my friends over at Aeonian Brewing Company. These guys are right next door. They're like next town over. This is just a real good one, just light. It's nice all around. So Dan Mayer, what's up? Oh, good, Bill. That's awesome. So yeah, so she can pick one. Just have her get back to me, and I'm sure I have your address, but if she just drops it in the text, it makes it easier than digging it out and all that fun stuff. So I was looking at this, and I wasn't real super happy with kind of the way this was working out. These lines weren't really as clean and nice as I expected or I wanted. So I'm going to clean them up a little bit. Again, we're trying to fire up the whole studio after being closed for 2 weeks, and for some reason my printer is deciding to take an extra couple days off. So I was going to print just a reference photo of circuit boards, but like I said, it's not printing for me, so I'll have to figure that out later. But I'll make it work for now. Awesome. And one quick second. I'm just going to put you on hold for 1 second. You guys can hang there. I just got to run over to the other bench real quick. Okay. So sorry. See, there we go. I knocked the camera again. Now it just sways. It doesn't, like, because the mount is really long on it. Anyway, my good friend Lee Jordan had sent me a tip via the website. There's a tip jar right on the front page for people who just want to buy me a cup of coffee or help out with something. And so Lee had mentioned, I saw this, and then Lee backed up my questions on this stuff. This is the refill for the Molotow pens. This is their high gloss chrome, and so it's alcohol based, so it's different than the Createx, and I was looking forward to trying it because I needed something brushable, and from what I've been seeing, this stuff is really cool. It's not cheap. This is about $27, but good paint is usually expensive. So anyway, so I bought it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out. So, I mean, maybe we'll see what happens. I got to get a set of really nice detail brushes that aren't the watercolor brushes, because again, these are alcohol based, and they're going to do a number on those watercolor brushes. So I'm going to get a synthetic brush for this. So hopefully that's it. Yes, Maston, I pulled in last night, so I am fresh off the boat, as they would say. Yeah, I finished unpacking last night around 5 o'clock. We had some pizza, watched a couple shows, and then I was out. I was gone. So hit the ground running today, though. Well, that was good. I don't want to do this. I want to do this. Ta-da! There we go. All right, then I get the whole whatever. I'm gonna clean up my palette too. This thing got bounced around. All right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clean up those lines I put down kind of hastily. These trace lines here. I'm going to, how far can I get you guys? Oh, that's interesting. What's up with that? Yeah, well, as soon as I'm done with this feed, I'm going to straighten out my camera mount situation. I know I definitely want, this is literally now, you can't see it up here. This big camera now is literally mounted to the ceiling above me, so it's not even part of the bench anymore, which is good. And that's what I want. But I need something really more secure, so that I don't have to keep. I mean, like I said, if I touch this thing, it'll sway back and forth. I need something a lot more secure, and also don't want to make something ridiculous, hanging from the ceiling. So I'll work on it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back to that original opaque phthalo green, which is 0084. This is the new opaque line from Createx, and I will constantly call this new, even though it's been out for a while now. But it's all their new opaques, so this is 0084. This is the phthalo green. So this is what I use for the background, the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up these trace lines with the same color. Happy New Year. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2023. The end of the year, if you guys have been watching the Tech Tuesdays, I did kind of the schmoopy motivation post over the last couple of weeks because I've gotten some questions, and I usually get some people who have questions about, staying going and not getting dragged down by where they are or what they want to do and that kind of thing. So the end of the year for me is a lot of reflection, so kind of, but also that's when the plan really comes into play for the next year. So I look at the last year and see what worked and what didn't, and where I want to improve and all that fun stuff, and that really gives me my marching orders for the next year. So there are things that I want to do. There's things that I want to kind of accomplish. And by the way, thank you for everyone who has subscribed to the channel. It is steadily growing, which is perfect. I'm not looking for explosive growth. I just want people who really enjoy being here, and that's exactly what's happening. So I can't thank you guys enough for subscribing and sharing and liking and all that fun stuff. So the goal for 23, one of the goals is to grow the YouTube channel and kind of make it the main platform. While Facebook is great and it'll always have a part, I just love the way that they organize the videos on YouTube. It's just nice. So I really want that to be the #1 video platform. I'll still definitely do Facebook stuff, but and Instagram, but I'd really love the YouTube to be the main kind of thing. So that's a goal for this coming year, which will be great. Lewis, what's up, buddy? And the other big push for me this year coming up is the prints. I've always been kind of a one-off artist. Most of the income has always come from just selling art, to the originals really. Never really got into prints, only because for me, the mini prints, I haven't quite figured it out yet. It's a whole different animal when the prints are really small. So what's really nice about that, though, is there aren't a lot of people that I've seen doing really tiny, high-quality prints. And it took me a while to find someone who could do it, but I did. So this year coming up, there's going to be a big kind of focus on the prints. And I'll have more paintings that are prints, so right now it's just a small group, but my goal is to really stay on top of that and make sure that if someone sees a painting that they love but can't really afford the actual painting, that they'll be able to get a really nice print of it. So that's on the list of things to do for this year as well. So I'm looking forward to it. So yes, happy and prosperous 23 to everyone. Oh, Bubba, yeah, he is. Yeah, Bill is great. I love Bill's channel, and I'm so glad that his life has settled down enough that he can start doing his videos again. Bill is like our voice of reason. So he just says things that he needs to say, and it works out really well. Yeah. Bill is also one of the artists that well, while I'm sure companies give him things, Bill invests a lot of his own money in the things that he reviews, and I really like that because you're going to get an honest, you're going to get an honest reaction if it was something that you purchased. And again, it's not doesn't mean that people can't give honest reactions if they're given things. But just for Bill to be where he has been and just kind of throw it out there, because he had purchased it is a really cool thing. All right, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just using that phthalo green to run around those trace lines and clean them up. Masson, it's great. So we are. Well, I put a lot of water in there, didn't I? The palette, I mean. Yeah, I mean he is like kind of. I put a lot of water in there. Yikes. Oh boy. I started with him, the kind of midway through the year. We were talking about doing a kind of an artist, meet the artist type of thing. I'm looking forward to doing that maybe in the springtime when the weather's a little bit nicer. It's a great thing having a place where people can go physically to look at my art, because my art needs to be seen for real. It has a different look when you see it for real. So it's always nice to have a gallery. And while I joined the Associated Artists of Pittsburgh, the opportunity for display is a lot less than actually having a real gallery that has your work up all the time. So I'm excited to be over there. He's got a lot of great artists, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot with them. And Bill's declined companies giving him things. Spray Gunner sends him stuff randomly, and Createx sends stuff, but using all the stuff way before they ever did. Yeah, same here, for sure. I mean, that's it. And like I said, I get a few things from Createx every once in a while. But if I did not, it'll be like everyone else, and I'll just buy their stuff anyway. So it's like Iwata brushes. You would think that all my Iwata brushes were given to me, and actually, out of all of them, only one was given to me. And so yeah. So for those people who think that there is a money train coming out of all the companies, they're just sending out all kinds of stuff. It doesn't happen as much as you think. I was looking for I have a little eyedropper. It's one of those little squeezy oh, here it is. No, yeah, that's not it. Somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'll deal with it. I put too much water in the wet palette, so I'm just going to take some of that out, but I can't because I can't find the dropper, but do that later. It's not going to be a big deal. Do need some more white in here, though. And neither bugged me to make a video in a positive. Yeah, well, the good thing with a good company, too, and Bill, I don't have to tell you this, a good company knows their stuff is good. They don't need to tell you to say good things. And frankly, like Grex, when I was going back and forth with Bryant about a few of the, the things they were working on, they want to hear what's bad about it, too. They actually do. They don't just put something out and then say, okay, tell everyone it's good. So yeah, I really like that, And of course, Iwata is a good example. Their stuff is great, so they don't need people jumping on there and pumping them up. Yeah, Dennis is definitely he is no punches pulled. I love Dennis. So Dennis DiLorenzo, who we're talking about, is really the brains behind the Createx paint. I say that, and there's a lot of people that put their heart and soul into that paint, but Dennis really, I could be wrong, but I'm 99% sure that the entire Wicked line is because of Dennis. Um, and he's just a really smart guy when it comes to coatings. Yeah, definitely. Dennis wants to know because he doesn't want to hear about it later after it's been out and it's failing. So he's a smart guy. And for as good as Dennis is, Chris Arpin will run that stuff to death. So if there's going to be a problem with anything they're making now, Arpin will find it, and so they are a great combination. And again, like I said, they're not the only two there that are doing it, but um, you see, well, not so much Dennis, but you see Chris all the time. So those are the most visible. All right, so I have this same trace color mixed up. It's the same phthalo green and just a little bit of white, or actually I've reversed that. It's a lot of white and a little bit of green. So now I'm just gonna kind of go in and clean those little trace lines up that I just kind of cut in. So if I cut in too much with the green, I can just kind of redo the trace lines with the white again. Is this too much for this? Yeah, definitely. It was a kind of a, not a joke ornament, but it was given to me as as kind of a haha thing. So I'm going to give it back to my sister-in-law who gave it to me. But but so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm hanging out, so it's fun. William Klein, Steve, I've asked you about pinup art before, and you said you had done some. Would you consider some in 23? Yeah, I love doing the pinup stuff. So um, I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I think the situation needs to be right for me to do, like the pinups. Like I love the jobs that I've gotten for pinup work, and then I've done a few smaller, like black and whites too, like old school black and whites. Um, that it's a and I, the actual pinup artists know this already, but there's a lot of work that goes into doing a good pinup painting. There are models to be had. You just have to do a lot, and it's not. I mean, some people can just drop people out of their head. Like one of the people that comes to mind is Tom Nguyen. He's just fantastic. He's just a great artist, and I think he can just come up with it out of his head. I need a lot more reference than that. So for me, it involves getting a model, the clothing, all that fun stuff, and that's what slows me down on a lot of the pinup type stuff. But when I get to lean on a really good photographer, that's fun. Essentially make a pinup from someone else's photograph. So yeah, so they're always on the deck, but that isn't a pinup isn't something I would gravitate to right out of the box. Like I would rather paint technology. It's cars, bikes, motorcycles, planes, that kind of thing. But yeah, I like pinups. Yeah, it is a tremendous amount of work. 543 Createx mascot. Yes, Vinny. You call him Vinny. I love. I think it was Bill. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bill. I think Spray Gunner has a giant 3D Vinny that was 3D printed. It's kind of fun. So, all right. So now still got the white in there. This really light green. So I'm just going to throw some more traces in before I start working on the components. I wish my printer actually printed. I could pull these out. Oh, maybe I'll use a silver on that. That'd be fun. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. This green is a little bit different, but it's okay too. Throw that way. Yeah. All right. I hate to do this to this brush, though. I really don't want to put alcohol-based paint in this. Do I have? I have a reasonable round too. So I have an older Zero. Now this one's not in bad shape at all, but it's a little bit older. It's been through the ringer, so I'll use this one for the silver paint and see what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is before I paint the block here, I'm going to put the little silver leads kind of on this little chipboard. So Olivia's awesome. Yeah, if you watch Olivia work, I've never seen Olivia work from start to finish. She does a lot of time lapse things now, so it's really crazy to see her do her thing. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I know she does use a lot of actual people as models, but I love the way she works. God, with that big fat chunky black marker she uses for hair, I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? It just and it's in like in 3 strokes, all the hair is blocked in. I'm like, that is genius. Sprague made a giant Vinny. Haven't seen it in person. Florida when it's cold. Yeah, really. No kidding, Bill. That's the place to be. Except when there's, getting ravaged by storms. 3 acres of land where the grandkids live. Interesting, Bill. That's awesome. Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, let us try Lee's paint. So where I first heard about this, and it looks like W. You can't see it, W, but it's not. It's actually an M. Molotow. There they are right there. So they make a paint marker. They make a bunch of stuff actually. So this right here is the refill for the silver marker. So it's kind of cool. I just got it. Yes, well, I got it a few days ago, but I haven't had a chance to use it. So it's got this little applicator thingy. So let's shake it up real well, and then we'll put it on the palette and see what it'll do. I shouldn't put this on the wet palette either, because the wet palette is water, and as the alcohol evaporates from this stuff, it's going to replace it with water, and I'm sure it's going to screw it up, but that's what I got. Yeah, Bill, so that's what I was going to say. So the first I heard of it for real was watching, I love Adam Savage's Tested channel, and he uses it a lot. So I saw it there first, and I saw that's where I found out that they have this refill. You don't have to just buy the pens. Because what I found was the pens aren't fine enough for what I do. I needed just the liquid, and I didn't want to buy the pen and break it open and do all that. So, then I saw Savage had the refill, and then Lee was talking about it, and Lee had used it. So I'm like, yep, that's it. I'm going to buy it. So, oh, it is very pretty. All right. It is very chromy too. It looks like a... Can I show this to you? It's crazy talk. No, it's going to be a nightmare if I show it to you. So, you know what I will do, though? Let me... Alright, so here's my little mixing cup that I actually catch all the little bits of paper with. So here's a drop of this stuff. It seriously looks like a solder bead. That is nuts. I'm excited now. As I lose the cap. Alright. You can airbrush with it too. I thought so, Bill. I mean, alcohol-based stuff is always, interesting to spray. But we gonna try it. This stuff looks beautiful. Holy crap. Oh, this is definitely gonna work. Yeah, you guys can see. So when my search really started for something like this, I bet it draws like super fast though. It does. Yeah, this is why I also don't want to use a really nice paintbrush with this. It dries like instantly. So my search for a good like brushable silver came when I was doing that Matchbox car for Charlie Hutton. Again, the Quicksilver Chrome is amazing when you spray it, but it's difficult to use a paintbrush with it. It's not meant for that. It's not designed for that. So, but I needed something I could brush on. So I started looking, and I had a bunch of options, and couldn't really find anything that worked. And then, like I said, this came up, but I finished the car already, so it was already away. So I'm like, let me just order it. But yeah, that is perfect. It looks like chrome. Looks like silver. Brilliant. Now, yeah, there you go, Bill. So their pens are have been around for a while. Now, the thing of it is again, this is alcohol based. So if I try to clean this with water, it's going to make a mess. So what we're going to do is going to take some. I use isopropyl rubbing alcohol to clean out my airbrushes anyway. So what I'll do, you guys can see it up above, maybe just barely. So I got some rubbing alcohol in this first bin. This little cup here, the palette, and yeah, it does. That's really cool, and as you would expect, it comes right out, so it cleans out of the brush. All right, good. So I'm gonna do the other one since I've got this here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this stuff on the wet palette. I'm sure it's going to get screwed up hard. Again, because what's going to happen is, yeah, it's already starting to get funky. Um, Again, the alcohol as it, yeah, there we go, really funky. As the alcohol evaporates out of it, it's replaced in the wet palette by water, which I'm sure screws it up. And yeah, wow, this stuff dries really fast. So you got to work quick. So there won't be any painting of long, thin lines with this, I don't think. That, once you get it though, that really came out good. Chroma Air has a thicker silver Createx makes for them that's brushable. However, they are not as shiny as Molitor. Yeah, I mean, I am 100%, even just with this one little drop, I love this stuff already. Does the alcohol ruin the fittings inside the airbrush when using it as a cleaning agent? No, Lewis, it's more the ammonia that can eat away the inside of the brush. Although that argument has been raging for as long as I've been airbrushing. I've heard people who use ammonia-based window cleaner and swear they don't have a problem. Um, Ian, what's up, buddy? Uh, oh, that's awesome, Phil. William. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. You know, you can see it because you're up close. So look at that row right there on that side, as opposed to my chunky weird row on the left side that got all mangled. But once you get the hang of it, and that stuff is like, it looks like silver. It looks like silver leaf. So now, for those of you who use this Molitor stuff, do they have a chrome gold? Do they have a gold just like this? I'm not going to go look till after, but if they have a gold refill like this, I'm buying that too, because that solves a ton of problems. That's beautiful. I really like that. Awesome. All right, how do I want to do this? All right, so I'm going to put this, since I have the chrome on, I'm going to use it on these little resistors too. Be sure to hit the like button. Thank you, Lewis. Yes, Lewis, we were talking before. Oh, alcohol and, yeah. So rubbing alcohol doesn't do anything to airbrushes, but the argument is ammonia does, but I've seen some really reputable people do some really intense studies on ammonia and airbrushes, and I don't know. I don't know if it does all the damage that everyone said. I mean, I'm happy with the alcohol that I use. Um, it really does do a number on the Createx. It breaks it all apart. So for me, there's no really big reason to use any kind of ammonia-based cleaners. But and aside from COVID, rubbing alcohol has always been accessible and inexpensive. Again, I remove COVID from that because for a while it was like gasoline, super expensive and impossible to find. But yeah, so I'll always use rubbing alcohol. Back in the old days, Mike run out of rubber needle packing, which ironically is smoother and more resilient. However, alcohol and chemicals would cause the O-ring to dry out and leak. Definitely, yeah. And I think they switched to a silicone a silicone O-ring on all their brushes, a solvent resistant or solvent proof O-ring. They used to call it solvent resistant. So you could use your microns like Bill was saying with all the automotive paints and all that kind of stuff. And as long as you cleaned it out thoroughly in between, it wouldn't affect it. But if you let it soak in any kind of thinner, it would swell up and wouldn't work. So Teflon, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah. And now I think most airbrush companies that are worth their weight in salt have switched to all solvent-proof O-rings, which is funny because paint has gone the other direction. We're moving slowly away from solvent-based paints to all water-based systems, but Teflon is still such a nice material for that. All right, I'm going to keep going while we're hanging out. I'm going to put the silver leads on this too, since I'm going to see how far I can get out of this. Yeah, this does start to dry up. What's interesting though, it doesn't separate. So it's not like it's... Oh, that does dry out super fast. So that little drop I have on the top of the cup is still completely silvery all the way through. The reason why I say that is because any metal-based suspended paint will usually separate really fast, and you have to keep mixing it up or repaleting it or putting it out or something like that. But this is staying just the way it is, which is also an oddity, which I like. It does take a little getting used to, though, because it's difficult. Um, it's not difficult, but it's definitely, it has a little bit different feel when you start painting with it than, once it's been paleted a little bit. So it's gonna be fun to kind of get used to this stuff. Yeah, that's Maston. That's exactly what I've always been, kind of led to believe. And I think, if you would ask me, I would say it's happened to some of my older brushes. That chrome is gone. But here, I'll show you something in a second. Oh, can I show you something in a second? Yeah, I can. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to grab my Micron. Hold on. All right, so this is my Micron C that I use all the time. And now this brush is only about 2 years old. But if you look at the inside of this, all the chrome is gone from the cup and there hasn't been a drop of ammonia in this. Zero. So a lot of that is the way that chrome works. You can really only effectively chrome one side, from what I understand. So the inside gets chromed, but there usually isn't a whole bunch of chrome in there, and that's where it tends to wear off the quickest. But again, I think that's where it comes from. Like my older side feed. My older side feed has a bunch of fogging on the parts, especially in the back. Like, well, this one doesn't really have it, but the needle chucking guide, this needle guide right here, how it's nice and chromy and shiny. Like on my old SB, that's completely like matte finished now. And that wasn't that way when I got it. So, that's why I would think that, that ammonia stuff, because I used to use window cleaner too. I always thought that that's what did it, but now I'm not 100% sure. So again, for me, I don't care because I don't use ammonia anyway, but yeah, I'm so sad. So this brush, I've had about 2 years. Usually I don't have any problems with airbrushes, and I don't have any problem with this brush, other than the fact that I keep damaging the nozzle. So we are going on nozzle number 3 for this one. So if you know anything about microns, that's the equivalent of owning a Ferrari and then curbing one of the wheels and putting huge gouges in the wheels. So it ain't cheap to fix. Oh, Ian, sorry. This is a little ceramic cookie, like a gingerbread man that my sister-in-law sent me. She, just as a kind of a haha thing, she said, oh, you can paint this because Marge does. It looks like a gingerbread cookie. So she goes, Marge is, always painting cookies and making cookies. So this is something for me to paint. So, yeah, so I thought I'd paint it back for her. She works for Dell Computers Company, and it's great. Her job is to break stuff. So, so I figured it'd be fun to have this. I'll make a kind of a robotic top to it. You see it's all Ottoborn sealer base silver on the top. So I'm going to make it like real robotic on top, with all kinds of, whatever, steampunky stuff. And then there's a ripped line that goes across the bottom here, and I'm going to make that like folded up metal, torn metal, and you'll see all the circuit boards underneath. So that was kind of the idea behind it anyway. All right. I do like the camera now that it's, because like I said, if I shake the bench like this and then stop, you guys would normally be shaking still. Like it would be like an earthquake with the camera, but because the camera isn't even mounted on this anymore, it's nice, but I just gotta work out the attachment points. It's not very secure. I mean, it's secure, but it's not, very whatever. All right, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. I suppose I should clean up those other silver ones that came out like snot. This is probably too dry now to use. Oh, I don't want to use that brush though. We'll see. Oh yeah, it's like now it's like it's really, really dry. But actually that was, I mean, for being out on the, just out on the top of this cup, I mean, it's still usable. A little bit, maybe. It's pretty thick right now, but still, that's pretty good for just being out in the open. What brush do you like to spray your Audubon sealer with? What size is the needle? Awesome question. I gotta concentrate here. I was just about to clean out, I have a cup of water. I was just about to clean this out with water, and I'm sure that would end poorly. All right, Audubon sealer. So there are two ways that I go with the Audubon sealer, and it depends on what I'm doing. So if I am priming a bunch of the UPO, like this is all the, I'll back you guys up because it's too close. So this is all the primed UPO. I just throw them in this plastic folder to keep them clean when I'm not working on them. But this is all, these are all Audubon Sealer Gray. So that's the UPO, it comes white. So when I'm doing stuff like this, meaning a whole bunch of these or a big sheet of this, I'll use the, I have a SATA, little SATA, for crying out loud, I'll get it. Hold on. Okay, so there are two guns I use. I didn't grab the other one. If it's a lot of stuff, I'll use the little LPH80, the Iwata LPH80. That has a 1.2 fan cap in it, which has a decent. That's a really good size spray. So if I'm doing a lot of Audubon sealer, I'll use that. This one here only has a 1.0 nozzle, but it's also round. But this works great for smaller objects like that UPO paper when I have it cut down, or something like this. I basted this guy with this. So it's just great. It has a nice spray pattern. It is round, so you got to keep that in mind. But other than that, it works really, really well. And again, I think the one is the biggest size that this guy comes in. I could be wrong, but that's what I got for it. So that's the one. What's interesting about this gun, the needle goes all the way down to like airbrush size. You can get an airbrush sized cap for this. I don't know why you'd want that. Maybe for candies or something, but yeah, really, really nice gun. That, and then the other one I use a lot, but not as much for the Audubon sealer, is this guy right here. This is the Tritium. This is from Grex, and this has a fan cap on it also. The biggest they go with this is 0.7. So when you start getting into 0.7, you have to kind of reduce the sealer a little bit more than you would normally. And I really like to follow the directions on the sealer because I want that stuff to stick. It's the number one. I mean, that's what's grabbing onto whatever I'm working on, the UPO or this or paper or metal or whatever. So well, you guys see me blow up the mixing ratios all the time with the paint, over reduce stuff all the time. I really, really, really try to stick close to the recommended reductions for the Audubon sealer. I don't want to compromise its ability to stick at all. So that's what happens with this guy. To get it to go through the 0.7 really smoothly, you got to reduce it about 20%. It's not bad, it'll work, and it'll hold just as well. But above that, they really don't recommend. So this one, what I use this one for mostly is for clearing stuff. So the UVLS is a little bit thinner and reduces smoother than the sealers. So for this guy does a great job at clearing. And then I'll use the LPH80 for clear as well. So that's it. Bill, if you're asking about this one, this is the SATA Jet 20B. So you can see it there. Yeah. And again, I'm not sure how it comes, but I know you can get the 1.0 tip for it. And this runs on a regular 1/4-inch plug, so you need, a regular spray gun hose for this, or a quick connect or something. Whereas the Tritium has an 1/8 size regular airbrush fitting. So, yeah. So there's your rundown on the bigger stuff. I don't have a gun bigger than the LPH80, although I probably should eventually. So Lee Jordan, Lee, you're on. Lee, look what I'm doing. Thank you, Lee. We have already got it on here. This stuff is really, really cool, as you already know. Zip you guys in closer and I'll tilt this. So I did all the little chipboard leads with that silver. That really is working out well. What else did I miss? There we go. Awesome. Okay. All right. Cheers to that. All right, so these little chipboards are going to be gray. I guess I'll do more leads since I don't want to really spray the details on these things until I get most of the leads in around them, just in case there's a little bit of overspray. We'll have to fix everything. Yes, there we go. Okay, so I'll do some more leads. So I need the double aught for that. Oh, and we'll do, yeah, it's just as I thought. I can't even, well, yes I can. Hold on, give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to try to drain some of the water out of this wet palette without making a total mess. And then I'll show you the paint on the wet palette. Oh, that worked out actually better than I thought. All right. Yeah, I just put way too much. So I'm going to swing this in here. This is the corner of the wet palette. That little blob right there is the silver, and as expected, it has gotten super funky. It's like semi-dried, but still like weird. So yeah, that's what happens when you put an alcohol-based paint on a water-based wet palette. Yeah, it's all like fractured and very weird. So all right, now we know you can't do that. But it's okay because I'll just use a regular palette for that. Because on the little cup here, I put these all out at the same time. So this is drying, but it's not like fracturing like the other one. So it's drying like it should. It's basically, you know, setting up like it should. There we go. All right, more leads. Now for water-based paint, the wet palette is amazing. As it's intended, really. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these. So there's a little frosting Charlie Brown triangles here. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I mean, I'll probably end up just painting them silver like the other things. Maybe. Something like that. I don't know. Or I could just ignore them and go over them with the traces, but I don't know. I just don't know. So did you guys all have a good holiday, or continuing to have a good holiday? Gearing up for 23. I'll go this way so you guys can see what I'm doing if you're at an angle. Ian, have a great one. Thanks for dropping in. Cody Adams, what's up? So I also, as I'm finishing up the 543 stuff, so that's that, for those who aren't on Facebook, that's that black and white thing that I do every week and give away a painting. So I did the final tally after the big giveaway at the end. So we ended up giving away 71 paintings throughout the year. So it was a really good year. And that was the winners. So no, I did, well, I don't know if I had any of the bonus ones early in the year. I can find that out. But even if you just take, you know, the 52 weeks, you know, the 52 times 5, so I did over 250 paintings this year with those, which is great. Had fun. And they reset on Monday, so all the people who, because the idea is, if you haven't seen it, you suggest a painting on Monday night, and the following week then you're entered to win one of the paintings when we rejoin. And then if you do win, you are ineligible for the rest of the year to win another painting. You have to wait till the next year. So now that we are at January, almost, that list is reset. So everyone who's playing along can now win again. That'll be fun. Northern Michigan. Gosh, you guys got crushed. My Marge's family is from northern Wisconsin, and they were sending pictures yesterday of the snow, and I know they're used to it, but that was a lot for even them. Yeah, all the Indiana, Michigan, the whole middle of the country, really. Oh, there's that shameless plug again. There's the code. So use that for any of the 543s that are on there or whatever. Yeah, Michigan got hammered. Nope, can't see. There we go. Put another trace in here. It just feels like it needs something right in here. So I was in Massachusetts. We just got really weird, unseasonably warm, crazy hurricane-like weather. And then it dropped to like 0 the next day. And then it was back up to like 30, where it should be. It only got 6 inches. That's good, William. That's good. Yeah, it looked insane. Like my path to from Massachusetts to here takes me across like lower New York, not the city, but above that. But seeing what happened in Buffalo and the lakes and everything, I was like, holy crap. Buffalo got demolished. I think they're still having all kinds of issues. Yeah, it was quite the storm. Here in Ohio, there was just like heavy winds. It rained, but then it immediately got cold. They got a little bit of snow, but nothing crazy. High contrast color for the ripples, primary color. Yeah, that's a great idea. I just might do that. The little Charlie Brown bumps. Maybe red for Christmas. Ooh, maybe I could do them silver and then use, yeah, maybe I could use that same silver and then go over them with the Candy 2.0. That would look pretty cool. They'd be like red metallic. Oh, and I was just about to do that now. So now I got to back up. So I put rubbing alcohol in the spot that I usually have the reducer in. So if I reduced the paint with rubbing alcohol, that also would not have worked out well. There we go. So we'll swap that out with reducer and we'll be ready to go. This is nice because other than the feet, I had no plans to paint today at all because I'm still trying to, dig out. And again, it's a lot of running around today and that kind of thing. So it's nice to be able to stop and paint. It's a good excuse to get some stuff done. What's that? It's they got 15 inches plus. Yeah, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, so that was the thing. Marge's route, she was going to go drive up to see her family for Christmas, kind of last minute. And she's just watching the weather. And as soon as the storm hit, her path takes her right through Chicago and Indiana, that route. And it would have been impossible. She wouldn't have made it. It was nuts for sure. So it'd be nice if she had a chance to, get over there at some point, aside from Christmas. I feel like there needs to be something here, like something not like traces, like that little spot right there. Just if I put all kinds of traces in there, I don't know, it just feels like it needs something. So what I'm going to do, let's put a little silver thing there because I'm having fun playing with the silver. So I'll put a little bit more out on the top of the cup this time because the wet palette obviously didn't work. Well, the other thing too is how much is in here. This is 30 milliliters. This bottle for me is going to last a long time, so that's good. Again, it was expensive, but again, any good paint really is. So that wasn't the turn off for it. There was no real turn off actually. All right, so I'm just going to put a circle right here, and then we'll make this some sort of round component. Actually, I should probably turn this so I can get a better angle at it. Oh yeah, there's definitely, the alcohol does funky things to a natural haired brush. I'll show you in a second. So this is why synthetic works really well for alcohol-based stuff. So it dries really fast. So you see actually I'll move this a little bit so you can see it against white. So see the end of the brush now? Hopefully that shows. It dries really fast and then frays out all the tip of the brush. And that's pretty common for this type of paint through this type of brush. Now, synthetic brush will hold up against that a little bit better. It won't do that. So what I got to do now is I got to get that out of the brush. That should work. Albany said a caravan of snowblower trucks out to Buffalo, about 30. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and who else in the country can handle snow like Buffalo? I mean, they're built for that, you know. But dang that they get blasted. So we're lucky here in Ohio. Like that whole thing with Buffalo is lake effect stuff. We're lucky here because we're below that lake effect band. So we're below Lake Erie, and but yeah, we don't get the same snowfall that say Chicago gets, you know, or not Chicago. I mean Cleveland. So that whole, you know, once you're inside that band, I mean, they just get whacked by the lakes. All right, so I'll show you this one now too. So if I tilt this, it is freaking insane. That's really cool. And again, that's what Quicksilver Chrome looks like too. If I masked a silver dot off like that and then I sprayed the Quicksilver Chrome, that has the same effect, but I can't brush it like I just did with the with this stuff. So they're going to work really, really, really well together. I'm excited. That's that little component. I don't know what else I'm going to do. Oh, let's do this little whatever this thing is. I'm seriously making stuff up. This is like me doing portraits when Timothy John Luke Smith is watching, and Tim has this amazing just knowledge of the human anatomy, and I do not. So I'm making up names for stuff, and I feel really bad, but I'm doing the same thing with computer stuff. All right, so what I'm going to do, not that. I'm surprised that's even in here. All right, this is what I want. So I'm slowly, what I'm doing, well, I'll show you. Show you. So this is now my go-to red, the Wicked Pyro Red. It's 0083. So that has effectively replaced the Wicked Red, which is 0005. It's a little bit more tomatoey red, but it's still, I can adjust where I need to adjust to make it work. So the Wicked Red is more of a primary red. I mean, this is certainly red, but this has a little bit of orange in it. But again, but I'm trying to switch over to as much of the opaque line as I can, just because the binder and everything that works with it are really, really much stronger than the opaque line or the Wicked line. So it's nice to incorporate that as much as possible. Planning on using clear. That's a great question, Lewis. I don't know. I'm guessing a matte clear for it, although I'm afraid with the thing about the top side of it, I'll peel this back a little bit so you can see it again. So the top side of this is the Otterborn Sealer Silver, which is it's a heavier. It looks chrome right now, but it's got kind of a sparkle to it too. So I think that would hold up if I use the matte or the satin. Probably satin is what I'll end up using. That shine will still hold up, but obviously that's what I'm worried about. If any kind of satin agents will also, satin up the chrome too. So that being said, I might just hit it with automotive clear too. So I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. Because if I do a 2K clear on this, it'll look like glass. It'll be neat. So I'm thinking that might be fun. But I have not got the hang of the ultra, the high gloss UVLS yet. I've seen stuff Chris has done with it, Chris Arpin, and I don't have the skill set to do that yet. So I can get that kind of gloss out of a 2K clear. So I wouldn't probably, well, I might use the high gloss, but I just wouldn't use a lot of it. So yeah, more than likely, I think after all that, it might be 2K is the way to go. Yeah, it'll be fun. I'll definitely post it. You guys won't see this again live. I think we've probably run our course for this one on the live stuff, but I'll definitely post it before I ship it back. So I know I said it before about, you know, the things that I want to get done this year. So one of those things is definitely, like I said, I want to get the prints up to speed. And one of those things that I meant to, I can't believe I forgot it, but I literally forgot the Island Creek painting. I was going to bring it back with me to Massachusetts so I could get prints done, because the place that does all the prints for me is in Massachusetts. But I literally forgot to pack it. It's like one of the most important things for the trip, I forgot to pack. So I will get that done. But that will be a print. I'm planning on having the Harley painting that I'm working on right now on the Open Studio. I want that to be a print. The Ford painting as well. The 32 Fords that I've been doing. I want those as prints. So yeah, so there should be a lot of prints. And it's funny, over the vacation I got to see, because Keith is a great guy. He got some prints from Dennis Mathewson, and Dennis's stuff is not standard size, and the way he mats it, he mats the prints in a standard size, but the opening is for the artwork. So you have like big areas on the left and right, or top and bottom. And I never really thought about that, but seeing the way Dennis did it, it really looked nice. And that's always a concern, you know, when you're including mats with things, that you want them to be even and all that. But after seeing Dennis's stuff, I'm like, wow, it looks really great if they're just matted. So maybe doing some of that too. You really need no low pressure and a large melt to get the best high gloss. Yeah, and again, it's reduction too, right? You know, it's making sure that the reduction on those is exactly what they recommend. I think most wind up dry spraying and then try to lay thin layers, but it really is like a 2K. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, and the other side of that, Bill, where I find it can be a challenge, is that stuff is water-based and tends to dry faster than solvent-based. So if you're used to solvent-based and you're laying on this, you know, medium wet coat and everything's going great, and then you do the same medium wet coat in your head with the Createx, it seems to dry faster. So that too. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's I did a lot of clear homework when I was back. So I am looking forward to getting things rolling here again with the clear coat stuff. The goal, by the way, I'm back to the opaque green. I'm just going to clean up some of the things that, you know, need to be cleaned up. Like there's a little bit of overspray right here on the bottom edge. Clean that up real quick. So as I hopefully move closer to the plan to kind of build a bigger, badder studio here, Marge and I were talking about all the, you know, the things we would like to see in it, and one of them would be some sort of spray booth. Not, you know, anything crazy. Certainly, you know, I mean, the amount of solvent-based clearing we do is minute. It's mostly, you know, it's mostly the base coating and the water-based stuff, which, you know, I mean, that's less dangerous than the spray cans that most people have in their houses. But still, it'd be nice to have a dedicated spray booth. So we're talking about, you know, what that would look like and what we would need, because obviously we wouldn't need anything to paint a car, you know. So so opening up you know, like a really small downdraft spray booth would be high on the list of things to do around here, because we do have people we can bring stuff to clear here in Ohio. Marge has a buddy that she used to do all her motorcycle paint work with, and he can certainly clear anything we have. But for me, you know, I mean, I walk in with a 2-inch by 4-inch panel and say, hey, could you drop some clear on this? It's like, you know, you stop. I mean, it's just too small. You know what I mean? It's too small to break out, even for me. Like I buy my clear, the House of Color clear, I buy it in a quart kit and it takes me all year to use it, you know? So I know. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, no, Bill, what would really happen is, oh yeah, just call PPG and have them give you one. You know, give them, just drop off a $350,000 spray booth because, I am me and I deserve that. Uh, Unfortunately, the real world is a little bit different. What I need to do is stay in touch with my friend Jason Garfoot, because Jason, when he was working for GFS, that's all they did was build these. I mean, they build gigantic spray booths, but they are the spray booth experts. So it's when it comes time to build something small, I still want to lean on him, because getting a good plan for it is going to be important, because I really want it to work well. But I also want it to be, like I said, we don't need a spray booth where we're spraying cars. Even with Marge's sculpture stuff, if she needs to spray something that large, which she never would really, because it just doesn't need it, we would get someone else to do something that big. But the small stuff and the paintings and all that, it would be great to have something permanently set up. I am super happy with the way this is coming out. All right, what I'm gonna do, I don't have any of my airbrushes hooked up. They are still in the, still in the kind of pack mode. So I'm gonna tilt this so you can see it, but that's really how it's coming out. I'm really, really super happy with this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna probably end the feed in a few. I'm gonna do the same thing, put all the leads in over here, and then start working on, really working on these components, shading them, adding some shading, and then shading underneath them, which again is why I put all the leads in first, because the shadow from this little chip component will cast on the leads. So I want to get that, and then I'll deal with these ripply things too. But that's how that's going to go, and I'll probably drop something in up here, maybe. I don't know, maybe we'll see. And that's that. So that's what we got. All right, so let me switch you over to this one. Yeah, oh, my hair is all sticky, uppy. So let me move this out of the way. This is part of the huge arm thing I got going on now. This is the good part of the arm right here, but it's attached to another point above, which is not very stable. I mean, it's secure, but it's not stable. I want to get something that's, I may just drop a freaking 2x4 down from the ceiling or something. So we'll see. It has to be super strong. Yes, have them build your booth, full-on 360 Revo setup. Again, Bill, I would love to say yes to that, but I would never use it. I might get like tanned in there. Use it as a tan thing. Do they make a small one, shack size, surf the web? Yeah, so they have the inflatable. They have the inflatable ones, which are really awesome. And we talked about that. We live in a residential area, and putting up a bouncy house type spray booth probably isn't the best idea. But what I was really thinking about, I was kind of thinking about it. I have a lot of plans for this year. It's going to be good. I have a plan to build like a mobile airbrush kind of thing. I started thinking about it last year when my dad was sick and I was going back and forth to Massachusetts a lot. I find I still need something that I can just grab and go instead of having to bust everything down. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. I have a good plan for that. But back to the spray booth. If everything was like perfect and I got everything that I ever wanted, a good 4 foot by 4 foot spray booth would be amazing, but a downdraft spray booth. So, 4 2x2 metal grate panels on the floor with filters, and then the intake on the ceiling, and then lights everywhere. That would be perfect for what we got going on. Just small stuff, but really super clean environment for that, and then safe safe environment too. No one should be spraying any kind of solvent clear coats in their house. 2K clears. Like the catalyst will kill you. So, and like we talk about all the time, all this paint is plastic, liquid plastic. So you shouldn't be breathing that either. So anyway, that's your PSA, PPE rant for the day. So other than that, that's what I got. I'm going to finish cleaning up here. Again, it's from here on out, it's all year-end stuff for me. I'm still going to be live next Monday, so we're back to normal with that. I am, again, my goal is to have the YouTube channel solid, so you'll see Tech Tuesdays every week, Open Studios every week, and I have an idea for something for Friday too. So I will let you know as I kind of work it out and become more sure that I can pull it off the way I want it to. So there may be that additional video every Friday as well. So that's what I got. All right. So happy New Year, everyone. I hope you guys have a great New Year. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Yeah, and until next year, I bid you all the best. Take care of everyone. Help someone out. And I will catch you guys all on the next one. Take care.